Hello friends, welcome to the higher module on institutional management for entrepreneurship. We are into the unit number 5 which is on business startups, and this is part number 3 under the same unit, and it is on the industrial laws in India. This is part 4, the fourth video, the last video under this specific part. We shall discuss two acts under this video. First is the GST, which is Goods and Services Tax 2017, and the second is the Industrial Disputes Act 1947. First, let us take up the GST Act 2017. GST is known as the Goods and Services Tax. It is an indirect tax which has replaced many indirect taxes in India, such as the excise duty, VAT, service tax, etc. The GST Act was passed in the Parliament on 29th of March 2017 and came into effect on the 1st of July 2017. In other words, GST is levied on the supply of the goods and the services. GST is a single domestic indirect tax law for the entire country. The following is the list of the indirect taxes in the pre-GST regime, and these are like central excise duty, duties of excise, additional duties of excise, additional duties of customs, special additional duty of customs, cess, state VAT, central state tax, purchase tax, luxury tax, entertainment tax, entry tax, taxes on advertisements, taxes on lotteries, betting and gambling. So, CGST, SGST and IGST, that means the central GST, the state GST and the integrated GST have replaced all the above taxes. Now, what are the advantages of GST? GST has mainly removed the cascading effect on the sale of goods and services. Removal of the cascading effect has impacted the cost of the goods. Since the GST regime eliminates the tax on tax, the cost of goods decreases. Also, GST is mainly technologically driven. All the activities like registration, return filing, application for refund and response to notice needs to be done online on the GST portal, which accelerates the process. Now, let us discuss the three different components of the GST. First is the CGST, which is the central GST. It is a tax collected by the central government on the intra-state sales. For example, a transaction happening within the Punjab. Second is the SGST, which is the state GST. It is a tax collected by the state government on an intra-state sale. For example, a transaction happening within Punjab again. Third is the IGST, which is integrated GST. It is a tax collected by the central government for an interstate sale. For example, from Punjab to Karnataka or from Maharashtra to Manipur. Now, let us see these different components of GST in this table. So, there are three columns, like first is the transaction, then under this new regime and then the revenue distribution by the center and the state. So, first when we talk of the sale within the state, that is the intra sale within the state. So, as per the new regime we have two taxes, the CGST, that is the central GST plus the state GST, and the revenue will be shared equally between the center and the state. The next category is sale to the another state, like we were discussing from Punjab to let us say Karnataka. In this we will have only one regime, which is the IGST, integrated GST. There will be only one type of tax, which is central IGST. In case of interstate sale, the center will then share the IGST revenue based on the destination of the goods. Then there are some new compliances under the GST, like we have this e-way bills. GST has introduced a centralized system of way bills by the introduction of e-way bills. Under the e-way bill system, manufacturers, traders and the transporters can generate e-way bills for the goods transported from the place of its origin to its destination on a common portal with ease. Tax authorities are also benefited as this system has reduced the time at check post and helps reduce tax evasion. The second compliance is the e-invoicing. Recently, the e-invoicing system has been launched on a trial basis starting from January 2020 and applicable from October 2020. This system requires large businesses with an annual aggregate turnover of more than rupees 100 crores to comply with some requirements. They must obtain a unique invoice reference number for every business to business invoice by uploading on the GSTN's portal known as the Invoice Registration Portal. The portal verifies the correctness and genuineness of the invoice. Thereafter, it authorizes using the digital signatures along with a QR code. Now, let us move on to the next act and the last act under this specific unit. This is the Industrial Disputes Act 1947. The objectives of this act, the first is the act provides a machinery for the settlement of disputes by arbitration or adjudication. It attempts to ensure social justice and economic progress by fostering industrial harmony. It enables the workers to achieve their demands by means of legitimate weapons of strike and thus facilitates collective bargaining. It prohibits illegal strikes and lockouts. It provides relief to the workmen in the event of layoff or retrenchment. Now, there are different authorities under this act. Let us discuss them one by one. The section 3 to 9 of the act deals with the authorities under the act. So, like the first is the works committee. The appropriate government may institute a works committee in case of any industrial establishment in which 100 or more workmen are employed. Such work committee consists of representatives of employers and the workmen employed in the establishment. The second authority is the Consolation officers. The act provides for the consolation as a method of settlement of disputes. The appropriate government by gazette notification appoints consolation officers. The duties of consolation officers include to mediate in the settlement of industrial disputes and to promote the settlement of disputes. The consolation officer has to mediate on a particular case within 14 days and send a report to the government giving details of the steps taken to settle the dispute, listing reasons for success or failure in reaching an agreement. Settlements in the course of consolation proceedings are binding on all the parties to the dispute. The third authority is the Board of Consolation. The appropriate government by gazette notification may, as the occasion arises, constitute a board of consolation for promoting the settlement of industrial disputes. Such board consists of a chairman and 2 or 4 other members. The board's main duty is to promote the settlement of industrial disputes. The fourth authority is the courts of inquiry. The appropriate government may, as the occasion arises, by gazette notification constitute a court of inquiry for inquiring into the industrial disputes. A court of inquiry may consist of 1 or more independent person or persons. Court of inquiry is expected to inquire into the matters referred to it and report to the appropriate government normally within a period of 6 months from the commencement of the inquiry. The next is the labor court. The appropriate government may constitute by notification 1 or more labor courts consisting of 1 person only. Person should be or must have been a judge of a high court, or he should have been a district judge for not less than 3 years. And then we have the industrial tribunal. An appropriate government may, by notification in the official gazette, constitute one or more industrial tribunals for the adjudication of industrial disputes. The tribunal consists of one person only appointed by the government. The industrial tribunal have wider jurisdiction than the labor courts. And then we have the national tribunal. National tribunals are constituted by the appropriate government for adjudication of industrial disputes, which in the opinion of the central government, number 1, involve questions of national importance, and number 2, are of such nature that industrial establishments situated in more than one state are likely to be affected by such dispute. A national tribunal consists of one person only to be appointed by the central government. Now, let us talk of the different provisions of the Act. The Act also defines the various areas like strikes and lockouts, prohibition of strikes and lockouts in public utility services, layoff and retrenchments, then protection to the workman during tenancy of proceedings, miscellaneous topics such as grievance, settlement authority, disclosing confidential information, etc. So, this is all about this Act. For more details, please refer to the e-contents which I have already given in the MOOCs. So, thank you so much. With this, we conclude this specific unit and the specific part, and as I said earlier, the details are given into the e-contents much more in detail, and you can refer to the e-contents. Thank you.